Hello, everybody. Today I've got something a little different. I actually ran some raids on the one and only build Condition Willbender. Um, as you can see, we're halfway through Wing 4 here. Um, this was not because I forgot to start recording before Karen spawned in. No, it's because that
I'm not
boss
gonna get protected for the
just
envoy, but
isn't
I mean, if you don't
interesting.
need it, it's no big deal.
Clearly, on
I can get
Mursaat
invades on.
Overseer is peak content. That is that is why we skipped that boss.
Then just drop
So now that
crap.
that's out of the way and everybody
Yeah,
understands
yeah, yeah. I
perfectly,
got it.
um, let's get into it. We have a little downtime here. We were just talking about who was going to do which role. Um, there was some confusion about the protect bubble. Then it turned out we had somebody who needed Envoy 2, so they really needed us to use it at one point. So
I suppose we should have expected that to
just a
happen.
little bit of confusion, but we got there. Um, as you can see, this is a revolutionary technique called post-commentary, where I record and then I talk about it, instead of doing both at the same time. I'm doing this for a couple reasons. For one, I did inform everybody involved that I was recording this run, but I felt a little weird about including our voice comms. And also half the time I was responding to stuff in text chat, which I like to keep covered so that I don't leak like guild chat and stuff, um, as you can see. So I figured it would be better to just talk about what I'm doing after the fact and leave out our original audio. Um, the game audio is basically non-existent, which is a consequence I did not plan for, but we'll deal with it. I'm sure nobody's super demoralized about losing the incoherent screaming of a Guild Wars raid squad. Characters do just love to scream. Maybe that's just me. I play a lot of female Azura. They love screaming. Anyway, as you can see, it's going just fine. I've screwed up my rotation here and there. My damage is still pretty decent. Our boon up times were great. Our supports did a really good job on this run. I was very happy with them. Especially after the last couple days of pugs, where you know, haven't had quickness above like 50% in a while. So that was very nice. Felt very good. As you can see, I'm getting over like 32k on an actual boss, and it's Mursaat Overseer, which is, you know, not the most intensive boss fight in the game, but it is still a boss fight. It is over 30k on an actual boss, which I felt pretty good about. Especially considering the amount of mistakes I made. Yeah, it's already over. And as you can see, we're 9-manning it. We couldn't even find a 10th player in time. The 10th player joins while we are already in Samarog.
Did anyone else hear that? Statistically
I'll try and
speaking,
skip some of the downtime
this is
here,
rather
speed
rare.
this up. We end up realizing we don't have a thief, and then that nobody remembers how to open the door without a thief, so there's some puttering around. Skip ahead. Skip ahead more. Alright, and now we're doing the ready check. See, this is one of the advantages of doing post-commentary. You guys get to skip the really boring parts.
There's the power.
I did put on Broiling Light for this. I also accidentally took First Fixate, trying to get people to start moving. I suddenly had the feeling that somebody was going to get caught by the entrance spears on the way in, because people were kind of lagging behind. I expect a much faster reaction when the ready check finishes for Samarog, and we had a little bit of hesitation. So I was trying to bait people out. I went a little too far. I got Fixate. As a result, I felt uncomfortable with using my F2 and my F3 in the opener, which I would normally be using like crazy. So that hurt my damage a bit, but I'm sure I could have managed better. I made a lot of mistakes in this fight, rotation-wise. Mostly because I was nervous about screwing mechanics up. This is a practice run with a fairly casual group, so I was also leading the run, as you can see, so I was half preoccupied with keeping track of what people were doing, which is sort of a unique challenge in its own way. I am playing a DPS build, don't get me wrong. Oh, this was really unfortunate. We had a phase transition just as he began CC bar, so he's invulnerable. So that player's just screwed. I've never seen that happen before. I think I've heard of it happening, though. That sucks. Spamming my scepter autos in frustration. We're talking about how to do the break bar. Oh, yeah.
You don't mind if I get near him?
So we get Rig'em in there, and then I remember we have somebody who needs Jade Heart, or the crystalline heart, for this whole wing. So we let him come back out on purpose, so that he can explode on them. Then our heal scourge just straight up runs through the spears into the boss, which is very bold. I don't know what that was about. But they were kicking ass, so I'm just going to assume they know something I don't. And then it's pretty smooth sailing from here. Just burn Coldham. Our Envoy 2 player was very appreciative that they got to experience the joy of Rig'em explode. And then we proceed as normal. But yeah, like I was saying, I've talked before about how it adds a certain extra amount of challenge to be talking while playing. Talking to your squad while playing is another sort of unique difficulty. It's not the same, but it is another... it is similar, at least. It's just another thing distracting you, more or less. But instead of thinking about what I'm saying to the audience, that was unfortunate, I am preoccupied thinking about, like, what is my team doing? Should I be calling a GG if we lose another person? Like I saw that down and I had to think, like, do we need that guy? That was a DPS player. We did not need them per se, but it is slowing the fight down. Yeah, we had some trouble with the greens, as you can see. A lot of people just not going with their friend for whatever reason. Although I caused some screw-ups later on. Not from lack of realizing I had the mechanic, but, you know, just normal screw-ups. I got very scared by that one. I was like, why are you guys moving that there? You're scaring me. Roiling Light is very satisfying to use on break bars. I'm screwing up my rotation all over the place here, as you can see. Don't look too closely at it, it's embarrassing. Why am I in sword for this long? Weapon swap, you fool. There we go. That's just bad. As you can see, we now have a 10th player join. So they did end up joining us for Deimos at least, which I'm not going to show Deimos on this run, because it was very scuffed, and also this video is already pretty long, and I have concerns about how long it's going to take to upload. The Halloween farm video last night took like an hour and a half or 2 hours or something to upload. Oh, it's rough. It is not ideal. But I am having fun making these. Nobody's forcing me to make these or anything, so I can't complain too much. I honestly do find it very helpful to review my own gameplay after the fact to figure out what I have to work on. For example, I didn't notice at the time just how long I had been camping sword. That green was pretty smooth. That was not one of the ones I screwed up. I'm also not sure what what skills I should be holding when I'm waiting for something like here, Samarog moving around, and what skills I should be using. That was unfortunate. Only one of us got slapped. I figured if we stacked up, we would either both get slapped or neither. It was just me, because we were slightly off, and they dodged it and I didn't. But, you know, we got a heal Scourge, it doesn't really matter. And then they're going all over the place. And they back out, and they're teleporting a little bit. I think that player's just got a little bit of latency. So we missed another green. Spears are getting pretty bad. And then coming up shortly, our heal Scourge gets the fixate here, and then says that they want to sack for 10%. So I'm like, okay. Sounds like a good idea. We have a lot of people alive. And then, well, somebody else dies. Yep, there it goes. And then another person dies. And then they sack, and then I realize that we have 5 dead, and somebody's downed. And then I get downed by the spears. I didn't think I was going to get hit by there. But we managed to get them back up. And it's well, it's not a little scuffed. This is very scuffed at this point. I'm like, stop moving, please. We get it. I go to save our friend. This is a very nice use of the Willbender mobility, I think. I keep getting bonked around and like having to go grab people who got tossed, and it's fine, because even though my build is very much wanting to stay in melee range, it is so good at getting there. I thought they were going to dodge backwards. That was a bad misplay. That's one of the greens I screwed up. I should have said, let's dodge backwards, but I didn't think to do that. Well, I'm going to end it there. I'm not going to show Deimos. Deimos got very scuffed. At one point, I got launched into a statue by the pizza, and it turns out if you collide with one of the statues, it just instantly downs you from like the physics damage or something. I don't know if it counts as fall damage or what. But I hit the statue and then bounced off into the abyss. So insult to injury, I guess. But I'll just wrap it up there. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll put the logs for these 2 fights I showed in the video description if you want to check them out. Bye-bye!